This episode of the Damage Guild podcast is sponsored by listeners like you. Join the guild at patreon.com/damageguild to receive exclusive perks, member rewards, and bonus content.
Previously on the Damage Guild podcast.
Another black-cloaked figure materializes behind him. Tokas, you feel compelled to lend the whispering voice crown.
I can let him have the crown, but that doesn't mean I can't turn around and try to kill him.
Give us back that crown, you thief!
I'm no thief. Your friend just gave it to me. The escaping man proceeds to run as fast as he can manage.
I'm gonna run after him. We need help! They're in the training hall! Sound the alarm!
This creature is fully enraged. It just punches you straight in the ribs.
That brings me down.
Wonderful.
Stripey is hit for 28.
He is now down.
He is going to continue pounding Azlo into the ground.
Hey, you big dumb dummy! Pick on someone your own size! I will brandish my torch menacingly.
Rush down the hall, unleash your lightning whip, pull him back, and he falls at your feet.
I think I should just light this guy up.
Your fire vial strikes it, and it collapses in a smoldering heap. You see Rivenend lying on the floor.
What?
No.
Rivenend! I flip him over. Rivenend, speak to me! Give him a slap on the face. Oh no.
He's still breathing, but it looks like he was hit hard and knocked out.
No.
Oh no, Rivenend. We need medical attention, quick! Someone get a cleric!
Someone with healing powers. Quick, get in here.
Emergency cleric.
Oh wait, I have healing spells. Rivenend, here's a cure light wounds.
Okay, you cure him.
Yes, I cast cure.
He wakes up, kind of groggy, and looks at you.
Rivenend, what happened? I'm so sorry I blamed you for all this. It was before I knew you were unconscious.
Which I totally did, by the way.
See, the last thing I remember, I was talking with Desner, and then I saw something move out of the corner of my eye, and I can't remember what happened after that. I turned to look, but I don't remember.
I look around on the floor for Desner. Desner, where are you? Desner?
Your crowd is still gathering here, and you see one of the newer people comes in and says, I know Desner, I don't see him around here.
Where is he?
He must have walked away before the attack happened.
He's suspect number one. No, he said he was talking to Desner when it happened.
He said that was the last thing he remembered. Desner could have left.
Desner? Desner.
Desner is found, and you find out that it is the cultist who you killed.
What?
Oh.
That's what I was gonna say earlier, guys. I feel like our guild doesn't do full-blown background checks on people before they join, A, but B, members could be turned to the cult after we recruit them, so, I don't know if we're that safe here.
Huh.
Case in point.
Case in point.
Wow, up until now, I assumed that we were safe, but yeah, you're right.
How doth a person, an individual, access my extra-dimensional room? How does a person knock on my door? How do they get to the place up to the point where they can come into my room with me?
Mithril members and higher are allowed to ask for access to specific members' rooms. Usually Mithril members will be granted access to whatever rooms they need to get into. There's one person who oversees that, but he is Orichalcum.
Orichalcum. What level was Desner?
Desner was only iron.
Alright, okay.
Only iron.
Well, that doesn't mean he wasn't weak. Or was weak.
Right.
I believe we should have a thorough search performed, and I pull you guys aside so nobody else hears this. Guys, is there any way we can talk to the top brass and have a thorough search of everyone's extra-dimensional rooms performed for the red threads?
Everyone's?
Everyone. Every single guild member.
How many is everyone?
See, not everyone uses them, but you're probably talking over 100.
If the leaders of this guild are okay with allowing members of the cult to exist and infiltrate this guild, then this is not a guild that I any longer wish to be a part of.
That's a good point.
I will turn in my badge and never return here again if they are not willing to take action on this.
Now that we know for a fact that the cult has infiltrated,
it should be a mandatory search of every room and every thread on every item of clothing to root out cult members who have joined.
do we see, who's the highest ranking person that we see gathered here right now?
You see one Mithril who you actually recognize. It is Lilith. Lilith Linifera.
Yes.
That's right. So we say what Shabba just said to Lilith.
We would wish to call a quorum, Lilith.
A quorum decorum?
Yes.
Quorum decorum. When will it be done?
Well, that makes sense. So I don't have the authority to call for that sort of thing, but I can present it to the higher-ups and see what they think about it. I can't promise you anything, but I'll see what gets done.
Certainly.
Very well. I huddle up with the two of you again and I say, now, of course, by the time this gets approved and they do the things...
And all the red tape, the bureaucracy.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone who has their cloak in their room, of course, could just scram by then. Or it's possible that anyone like Desner just didn't keep anything in their extra-dimensional room that would connect them to the cult.
Correct. We should also probably get rid of our cultist.
Yeah, that too.
Before that happens.
That would look pretty bad.
Or just keep them at Azlo's house or something.
We could put them in our extra-dimensional space.
I turn to Lilith and say, could you just wait like 8 hours or so
Just give us
to
like...
start that investigation?
Yeah, like a few hours.
What if we put our cloaks, because we might need them again, what
Yeah.
if we put them in the
satchel.
interdimensional satchels?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Let's just do that in front of everybody right now.
Wait, what happens if when you use an interdimensional satchel in an extra-dimensional room?
What happens when you turn a bag of holding inside out?
I know the satchel itself doesn't have an extra dimensional space in it. It just transports its contents into one. So it works a little differently than most of these bags of holdings.
Ah, I see.
Do we want to stick around and finish our training?
Yeah, we're going to have to restart our training as though the last 5 days never happened.
Is that how that works?
Yes.
We were about to pack up for the night and go to sleep, so
Yeah.
I think we should do that.
But yes, afterwards we will pretend that the 5 previous days do not exist.
I think they still count for training purposes, just not me wearing the crown purposes.
Sure.
What if you slept with the crown? That'd be 8 hours towards the crown week.
Well, he has to
He
sleep
has
with it
to
for
sleep with it.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been sleeping with it? How's that?
Yeah,
How's that been
dude.
for comfort?
Yeah, he has to make sure it doesn't come off in his sleep. That's a tall order.
Yeah, you see these bags under my eyes? You wonder what that's from? Try sleeping with a crown on your head.
You just like a little bit of glue.
Yeah, he's been sitting upright in his armchair every night by the hearth.
I was thinking earlier, now that this has happened, I want to find some way to, like, secure the crown to my curly locks so that it can't be easily removed.
You should.
You're going to braid your hair into the crown.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, I like that.
Perfect.
That way it can't be mage-handed off my head.
But then if anybody's trying to steal the crown, they're going to cut your hair.
Or just rip it out.
Or they have to cut your head off and then they take the...
It's a risk I'm willing to take.
You're going to have to scalp you.
Okay, well, you can spend an hour every morning braiding your hair into the crown.
After I finish my bowl of critical hits,
Critical hits.
the morning's breakfast.
That's some great callback humor, Brian. Nice job.
The perfect start to any adventurer's day. From General Mills.
General kills. Okay, anyway.
Things are calming down. Ribbon End is being tended by some other healers, and he seems to be doing all right. The other guild members are going back to their rooms, or wherever they were before. And I guess you settle down in your rooms for the night, or you were staying in one room for now, weren't you?
Yes. And we're keeping watch just as though we were camping out, because you can never be too careful these days.
Well, the next couple of days pass uneventfully, and you complete your training sufficiently to level up.
Hey!
Yes.
Sweet giblets.
What level are we again,
You
guys?
just reached level 7. No, level 6.
Yeah.
No, level 7.
level
Level
six.
7.
What's level 7?
That's the
7,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Level 7.
I know my numbers.
So, as I recall, you also were planning to spend some of this training time kind of researching who in the guild you might be able to trust as potential for holding onto the crown or whatever,
Yeah.
and who the leadership is and stuff. So I have little vignettes on each of them.
And also, each night I'm going to be attempting to unlock the puzzle box. I'm going to try to open it.
Okay.
I figure since it's
Give me a
just...
series of intelligence checks.
Okay. I figure since it's just a bauble that I bought at a carnival, it's not going to really have anything of value in it, but one never knows. Intelligence checks. Is this... Okay, this is just a check, not a saving throw. Well, I do have a decent intel.
So give me 7 for the week and count up how many 20s you get.
20s.
Ooh,
Yikes.
20 total?
Yeah, modified.
Well, there's a 19, so I have to roll a 19. So I received 0 20s.
So you have made no progress.
Tokas, why don't you take a crack at this puzzle box?
Let me give it a try. What do I need for this thing?
A 20s.
It's an intelligence check. You're trying to get a 20.
It's an intelligence check. I might be pretty good at that.
Let's say I just give it to Tokas during his watch, during his shift.
I get a 16.
Make 7 of them. You need a 20 total.
I have to get a 20?
7 checks, though, dude.
I get
7 checks.
7 checks.
You get 6 more checks.
Alright, that's not it either. Nope. It's 3 so far. Nope.
You know what you should do, Tokas? Hey, Tokas, I have an idea.
I failed it again.
Okay.
What's up?
I don't think you could apply Bardic Inspiration to this. This is like a working all night check.
Okay, never mind.
That was closer. I rolled a 13, which would I need to roll a 16 to get a 20 or higher.
Yeah.
And I haven't rolled that once.
Okay.
You can do it.
Oh, I just got it on, like,
Hey!
I guess my last attempt.
Told
or
you.
second to last
On the
attempt.
very last day.
I got a 21.
Okay.
That makes logical sense.
So, in the whole week, you've managed to make it past the first significant lock, and it's halfway opened now.
Yay!
But you can't get at whatever's inside.
All right.
Awesome. So you have one more day to try?
Progress. Was that the last day or the second to last day?
I'm pretty sure that was his 6th.
Oh, well then make your check for the last day, Tokas.
But I already succeeded.
You succeeded in partially
halfway
opening
open.
it. You got past the first lock.
I have one last roll.
Yeah.
This is it. Make it count.
I didn't get it. I rolled a 6, which is a 10.
Aw.
Give that back. Take it back. Partially opened.
Well, shout out to our listeners on our Discord server who reminded us that
Reminded us
we
to do that.
have this puzzle box to open from like 50 episodes ago.
Then I go to the store and I buy a war hammer.
I'll open this box.
Oh, it's the last thing I do. No, I'll just let Tokas hold on to it and make checks every night. Actually, maybe all 3 of us during our shifts should just continue to make checks until we get this. Anyway, the week has passed. And now this was starting from the attack or starting from the beginning of our training?
From the beginning of your training.
Oh, okay.
So it's only been a couple of days since the attack.
Okay, cool. So then we still have 5 more days of hanging out at the guild.
Well, you don't have to stay here. You can go wherever you want, and as long as he doesn't take the crown off, it's...
Well, we want to stay here because it's the safest place we know anymore.
All right, well, I have descriptions of all of the leadership that's currently around. So Adamantite and Orichalcum. Most of those members aren't present at the moment. They tend to be away a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to just paste it in the chat, and then you can pick out information to read to people?
Sure.
Yeah.
Whilst we are in the midst of our training, I would like to do a little bit of shopping. Because there's one thing, a very important deficiency that we now have, is that we've climbed down several chasms that were hundreds of feet deep, only because we had Labic's lengthy line. Now that we no longer do, we need to buy several lengths of 50-foot hempen rope and fuse them together into one long 300-foot length of rope.
Yeah, it really does stink that we lost Labix.
Yeah, we need to do that because otherwise we will be unable to traverse large chasms.
Do we want something stronger than hempen?
Silk?
We could upgrade. We could probably splurge to buy silk. Isn't that a better?
But then if that gets taken too, then, I mean, we have the satchels now.
It's not like it's that expensive.
Is it mechanically any different?
It weighs much less.
Oh, okay.
Might be stronger, I don't remember.
Yeah, let's do that.
Is the holding power stronger? Yeah, that's what matters.
Realistically, it is, but I don't know about the rules.
Okay. Well, are we going by the rules or are we going realistically?
So we're bringing up the other deficiency, which is one or more of us should diversify our weapon types.
That as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are we able to find like a rope maker to fuse us a longer piece of rope?
You could just buy extra long rope. You don't have to buy it in 50-foot sections.
Oh, I thought you had to buy it. I thought like you go to the general mart
And they have it like already
and
prepackaged.
they just sell it pre-cut in 50-foot lengths. So they just have a big box where you pull it out and you just works, and you just keep pulling it until you...
They would have different lengths available.
Oh, okay.
You could find one.
Perfect.
It's longer.
Well, then we need that. Also, what we need is to each have a tool that can saw through metal. I go to Almar's shop. Almar, please, I would like to buy 3 tools that can cut through metal. Please.
Okay, so you're going to get some hacksaw type things.
Oh, are you referring to the acid puzzle room?
Yeah.
Those guys had like full bags full of tools of all sorts of things they might come across they could deal with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was realizing they did come down with, those like crates full of stuff.
Spelunking kits and things like that.
All kinds of gear.
Yeah, so all I want to know is what type of mundane tool is there that I can reasonably escape from prison if I'm locked away. Because my motives are misunderstood, which has happened before.
I mean, I'm sure there'd be some kind of hacksaw, just one of the better steels available.
Okay. How much is that going to run me?
3 gold.
Okay. Sounds good.
Silk rope is 10 gold per 50 feet, whereas hemp rope is only 1 gold per 50 feet. So if we want to get 300 feet, that's 60 gold as opposed to 6.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big difference. So let's just get the hemp.
Works for me.
Azlo's feeling generous. He's going to buy the 300 feet hempen rope.
Sweet. Thanks, Azlo.
Tokas, I believe I think we used the opals from the statue's eyes as part of our bid for the people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And did I ever cash remember how I switched out of chromatic orb? Did I cash out the gem that was worth 50 gold?
Didn't we put that up for the...
No. I put up the gems from the giant. The bag of assorted gems that I made better. I'm referring to the 50 gold piece worth gem from chromatic orb. I wrote it in my notes 7 months ago, is when the note says.
Okay.
I can't remember if I cashed it.
I don't remember you doing anything with it.
I don't think you did. You probably still have it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So I wonder what I'm going to do with that. I need to fence it or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go to a jeweler and sell it.
I will. This is a town. There's jewelers. Yeah, during the training, I'll get rid of the gem. Do you think I can make back the 50?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will do that.
While we're doing bookkeeping real quick, I have the Shadow Stone and the Wand of Web crossed off. Did I hand that off to one of you?
Let's see.
2 months ago, I have a note. Brian has the Wand of Web.
Tokas has the Shadow Stone because he used it during the escape.
Yep.
Okay, that's right.
I do not have the Wand of Web.
I think you have the Wand of Web, Brian, because from 2 months ago, I have a note. Brian has the Wand of Web.
Okay.
So I think that's what that is.
Do you want to keep the Shadow Stone, or should I take it back?
You can have it back.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I can use that now with certain cool things that I have at level 7.
Oh my. We're level 7, aren't we?
Guys, I got a whole nother spell slot of the first level variety.
Dang, dog.
Man.
Didn't you get a 2nd level slot too?
I have 2
What?
2nd level slots.
Dude.
It's like I'm an actual spellcaster finally.
Whoa.
At the 7th level.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, but I have 2nd level spells, guys. Yeah. Limited by only being evocation or abjuration, but sure, I have 2nd level spells. Guys, we gotta go to the weapons shop.
We go to the weapons shop.
We do.
We've got to. So I'm at the weapons shop, and I'm looking through all the different martial melee weapons, and there's not a whole lot of... I mean, I guess Shabba and I are the ones that have the most flexibility. So what do we got? We've got piercing from a bow.
We have piercing and slashing covered pretty well.
Well, we have slashing just with stripey.
Short swords are... Oh, maybe
Piercing.
they're piercing. They are piercing, okay.
Yeah. Kingslayer is piercing, right?
Piercing.
So...
Crossbow bolts, piercing.
There's not a lot of light weapons that work for your dual wielding. I was looking at the list.
Yeah.
Your choices are short sword or scimitar.
Yeah.
A scimitar, sure, it puts you under 25 gold pieces, but it would give you an offhand that has slashing.
Yeah.
Might not be worth it. Might not be. For me, I feel like I should pick up a warhammer. Not so much because it gives me the option to wield it with versatility, but I would be like the only person in the party that has bludgeoning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be very handy.
I'd have to reinstall the fire starter onto the warhammer and make it a fire hammer somehow. And would it really be green flame blade anymore?
You could also get a maul, which is 2d6.
Ooh.
It's two-handed.
But mauls are two-hander.
That's true, but 2d6.
It's also heavy, which means he would have disadvantage on all attack rolls.
Oh, really? Wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty bad.
Thanks.
Well, so I could, if I wanted to save a little bit of money, I could go with a flail.
Flail, 1d8 bludgeoning.
You're worried about 5 gold at level 7.
Yeah, you might as well get the Warhammer, because if I lose my shield or don't want the shield, I can two-hand it and get an extra 2 points of damage potential.
That's true.
So
I think you're getting a Warhammer.
I think I should get a...
You could have both. Keep the Warhammer and the Rapier.
Yeah, I could keep the Rapier.
Oh, for sure.
And it could be one of those things where I should just weapon bond to both of them instead of my whip, because I can always just use the whip as a lightning lure. Other options. There is the longsword, which is slashing, and basically the equivalent of the Warhammer. But we want me to branch out. We want me to be our bludgeoner, right?
I think so, yeah. The other factor here is that Shabba and I both have magic weapons, which tend to get around a lot of these
Issues.
limitations.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe you don't blow any money getting a scimitar, but maybe I should just go to the magic weapon shop and get a magic weapon already, finally.
Yeah.
The magic weapon shop. Yep.
I was looking into how you get a magic weapon. Like, if a magic weapon doesn't drop in your adventure, how you get one is very complicated and very dependent on how, like, the dungeon master's running their adventure, and very expensive and tedious, and yeah. But Tokas has a lot of other sweet tools. It's not like I'm pining Thane for a weapon right now.
You've got your own magic attacks too. You have spells.
Yeah, I have ways to get around the fact that I don't have a magic weapon. So yeah, why don't I just suck it up and get a nice... Can I get like a dwarven-inspired Warhammer? Like something that kind of matches the aesthetic?
You could get an actual dwarven one. There are dwarves in town.
Oh man, I go to the...
You
Yeah.
can swing by Glass Rock real quick.
Wait, well, no, I'll go see the dwarves in town. Surely they've got a smithy up and running.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So we don't have to roleplay all this.
Oh,
You
okay.
can buy whatever your equipment.
All right, so I will spend 15 smackaroons and get a Warhammer.
Nice.
And I will get in touch with my inner dwarf, and I will sit with the Warhammer for an hour and channel a ritual. And
Real quick, before you actually finish that thought. No, not going to. How are you doing on the gold front there, Tokas?
I'm doing all right.
Because I remember that we have a certain very expensive trip coming up,
I'm doing okay.
for which we've been saving. Do you know what trip I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what trip you're talking about. I'm doing well. I can totally afford this.
All right.
I also just sold the diamond that was worth 50.
So you've actually met all but one of the members here who's currently present. For the Adamantite class, there's Shogar Torres, Kim Skilly Inak, Taif Kwatai, and Karadradin Aindu. He's the one that you have not met. You can ask around and listen in on conversations and gather information about these people. And so here's everything that you've learned. And there are only 2 Orichalka members currently here, Phalard Aldrun and Sedina Clearspring. You've met most of these people in your previous meetings with the higher level guild members when you talked to them about the cult, when you asked about the artifacts and so on.
Yeah.
Man, a lot of these folks would be good for us to link up with. Kim Skelly, Taif Kwatai.
Yeah, Taif in particular has a pretty strict outlook on rooting out the cult and killing its members.
But look at Kim Skilly as well.
Yeah, but Kim Skelly seems to believe that the cult has already been dealt with for the time being and wants to focus on other dangers. The last 2 are Orichalcum. What are the first ones? They're
Adamantite. I
Adamantite.
missed that when I was copying it.
Okay.
I mean, Taif, yeah. Taif is obviously the one who cares the most out of what we have here. But will he be the most useful?
Taif is the most adamant about hating the cult.
I think that's what's most important.
Sedina also would be maybe useful to talk with. She knows the most about the Emperor's regalia and its history. She's also known to be kind and gentle, and treats humans, halflings, dwarves, and other shorter-lived races as children to be cared for and protected, so she might like us.
She's an elf.
She's an elf, okay.
But what if that's a front?
A front for not being kind?
Well,
Front for being a cultist.
yeah, I mean, why does she know the most about the cult?
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, Brian.
That's another good question.
She wasn't talking about the cult. She's the one that told you about the relics,
Right.
what they were known to do.
It might be nice to pay her a visit at some point and asking more about the other relics.
I think if she knew a lot about the history and the relics and she was in the cult, then she would hide that fact rather than advertise it.
True.
Taif Kwatai is a Triton, so he comes from underwater. So Taif wants to see the cult rooted out and his members killed as soon as possible. He's considering putting together a coalition of adventuring parties to begin the hunt using his own funding and leading it himself if the guild as a whole doesn't approve soon. But he wants to at least get the king's approval before executing his plan.
Oh, I like this guy.
He joined the guild 20 years ago.
Dang.
And he's been adamantite for 10.
He's a Triton after my own heart.
Well, why don't we put our name on the list of adventuring parties that wants to join up? But does that mean that we're not going to go on our side quest, though?
That's a good question.
We had decided last time that we were going to head to Marengar next, right?
Yeah.
Either Marengar or you also wanted information on Waspel.
That might have also been before we knew the full or lack of strength for the crown for Azlo. I feel like, didn't we make that decision around the same time we were coming to grips with how not strong the crown is for us?
Which decision?
The decision to see if we could
Give it to someone else?
take over Waspel.
Oh, take over Waspel. Yeah.
I think we had already figured out what the crown did. This was like all the way, like very at the end of the last session. We were deciding what to do next.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's definitely Felmandar first, the cult second. We have a clearer path to victory against Felmandar.
Mm-hmm.
First Felmandar, then Waspel, then the world.
The world.
Exactly.
We just have to find Felmandar first.
Mm-hmm.
This puzzle box must have something super important that it's so difficult to open.
Or we're just really dumb.
Well, should we connect with Taif Kwatai?
Let's definitely talk to Taif. I think that's a good first step.
Yeah, I think perhaps we should do lunch.
Yeah, eat lunch, talk to Taif.
We should wine him and dine him a little bit. Let him know we're all on the same page.
Where do you think he's going to want to get food? The blue salmon?
Probably the blue salmon.
Yeah.
He'll probably want salmon.
He's also blue himself.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I don't know how Triton differ from Sahuagin, but I imagine they probably hate each other, right? Are Tritons actually just like merfolk? Are they a merfolk allegory?
Basically.
Okay.
Mm.
All right.
And so Wagon are fish people.
I mean, not with like the fish fin and everything. They have feet and legs.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay. I wonder how it feels to be part of our world.
I believe Trigus Garganath was a Triton.
Oh, that's right, yes. Good old Trig.
In the Dice Girls podcast. One of our early supporters. Yes. Let's play it close to the vest. Now that we have this known entity in the Sapphire Sabres, let's kind of feel him out.
Maybe we talk to him about what he would do to root out the cult in the guild.
Yeah, and in general.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically just sort of gaining him as an ally and someone on who we could potentially rely if the situation came up. But I'm not looking to just hand him the crown straight away.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Like I said, let's schmooze him a little bit. We'll set up a little get-together. We'll have some hors d'oeuvres, some apps.
Shake a few hands, kiss a few babies.
All right.
We'll be all set.
Well, yeah. We'll get to know him a little bit.
Let's do that. We set up a reservation at the Blue Salmon.
That's right. Their finest table.
For 5.
We'll need a booster seat for the Badger.
And for the halfling and the gnome.
Yeah, we need booster seats too.
3 booster seats, please.
But only one children's menu with the crayons. I like drawing. Tokas has a little bit of a short attention span.
One of you gets the blue and the green, and the other one gets the red and the yellow.
Yep.
Is that how you split them up with your own kids, Jay?
Lily's too little to have crayons just yet, but I imagine that will be what happens. They'll start fighting, and we'll have to get 2 packs instead of them splitting just one. But they have some inventive ones. I think at Red Robin they have the double-sided, where half of it's red and the other half is blue. So you just flip it around. Oh. They've got a lot of good technology these days, crayon-wise.
I really feel like crayon technology has just
it has.
skyrocketed
Leaps
over the
and
last 10
bounds,
years.
I'm telling you.
Yep.
It really has. So lunch with Taif.
You set up an appointment. You don't have too much difficulty getting one because you're kind of the center of everything that's been happening lately. So Other people seem to recognize that and are giving you a little bit more sway than your rank would otherwise indicate.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Taif meets you at the Blue Salmon.
But before we go any further, it's that time again. That's right. Time for another royal decree. This one comes to us from Colin and Ian. It's addressed to Brayton. Colin and Ian say, "We wish a happy birthday to Potato Farmer Brayton, even if it is a bit late. We are excited to see where your campaign is going and what plot twists are in its future. We hereby dub you Royal Purveyor of Spuds. All this comes from Royal Throne Warmer Colin and Royal Kitchen Spit Turner Ian, loyal friends of Fluffles the Flying Monkey." Well, I didn't understand what half of those words meant, but happy birthday to Potato Farmer Brayton. We hope you have fun, or we hope you had a great birthday. And thanks to Colin and Ian for being such nice friends. Because even spud purveyors need good friends, like you guys. In fact, let's be honest, spud purveyors need friends probably more than most people.
In case you've forgotten, because it's been a while since you last met him, he's about 5'2". He has a confident, proud bearing as he walks. His skin is mottled blue and green with orange hair.
That's right.
And he wears blue dragon scale armor with a rapier at his hip.
Yeah, too bad this guy's awesome. So,
What's too bad about it?
not too bad, like, it's awesome that it's just that he's so awesome. We just want to express the general sentiment that, like, we're on the same page. We're very concerned that the cult has infiltrated the guild. We want to make sure that we do everything within our power to quash that, to prevent it. And whatever efforts the guild and he wants to make to combat the cult, we are in wholeheartedly.
Yes, it is comforting to hear that you are on my side. I have been attempting to pull together collectives of those who would be willing to fight alongside me and to seek out the cult in various dangerous locales.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you with cult infiltration into the guild?
I'm highly concerned that they could manage to get inside. I admit our methods do not require strict adherence to codes and righteous living before we can bring in members, but to think that they've even been promoted is highly upsetting. Now, this new danger of the cult being inside the guild is not one that I was already planning on, but I believe we can move to find those who are members and eradicate them.
Do you suspect anyone in particular of being a part of the guild? Part of the cult?
I cannot say my suspicions at this time.
That's fair. I realize it may be too early on.
Well, hopefully you're not suspicious of us. I mean, we've been fighting the cult since day one.
Yeah, full disclosure here, we have cultist robes, like, on our persons right now, and it's just like telling a police officer you got a gun in the glove box, right? Like, we've got these robes because we were semi-successful in infiltrating a cult meeting to find out more about their plans.
Yes, I remember you discussed that with us after you returned.
Ah, that's right. Okay. All right, cool. So just so we're on the same page with that.
Good. I had forgotten myself, so that's good. I'm glad you remembered. May I ask what plans you have for rooting out the cult outside of the Sapphire Sabres?
That is a difficult thing. The king does not wish for us to travel freely through other countries. As you know, the king wishes to remain neutral in all conflicts and rarely sends guild members or anyone beyond the borders of Ormog.
Yes, the king remains neutral in all matters, all conflicts, all colors, all flavors, all numbers, all everything. He's a good guy, that king, King Ormog.
It has allowed this country to remain relatively peaceful as compared with those surrounding nations that are constantly at war. I cannot fault the king too much. Still, it is frustrating that we are at his beck and call. I cannot act without his permission, at least not on something as wide-scale as this. But I hope to have his tacit approval in the coming days. I do not know exactly how long it will take. I'm sure he will discuss it with his other advisors, and there could be deliberations, planning. It could take some time.
As if the guild's red tape wasn't bad enough, am I right?
Well, in the best case, it is possible that he will give us more men and equipment to help with this, and that would be what some of that time planning and readying things goes towards. I believe he will at least see that this is a threat to the peace of this nation.
Yes.
But I do not know exactly how he may choose to respond to that.
On that note, you may or may not have noticed that my halfling friend here appears to have styled himself a monarch of some repute. However, it is only because the properties of this crown require its wielder to bear it on a constant basis for a certain period of time. Now, let's say that you were entrusted with such an artifact, or such an artifact came into your possession, knowing how important it is to the cult and how important it is for them to complete their mission, which I believe we discussed with you at our last meeting. What would you advise that we do with it?
So then, the rumors that I have heard are true. This is indeed the crown of Altoria.
It's the one.
I look around, shh, keep your voice down. Never know who might be listening.
The last dude who wore this crown before our friend here was ostensibly the great emperor himself.
I will not lie, the power that it would grant is indeed tempting. I'm certain that I could put it to great use. However, were I to wear the crown and walk boldly into the den of evil controlled by the cult, I do not know that that would be wise.
Well, I wasn't necessarily suggesting that. I was more asking what in the world, what on Kavaki's green planet do you think we should do with it?
The cult is targeting you. This much is clear from their attack within our own guild. If I were you, I believe it would be prudent to extricate myself from the situation as quickly as possible. Perhaps traveling to a distant country, somewhere where the cult is unlikely to find you. Unfortunately, we do not know at this time how far their tendrils have reached.
Yes.
I do not believe they could be everywhere.
So you wouldn't seek out some means by which to strip it of its power? Whether that be geographically or magically, like in terms of actually weakening the artifact, or just putting it somewhere where it's hard to find, apart from just going to a different country. We're thinking interplanar here.
Well, I am certain the cult has many talented wizards and priests among its members. There's always the chance that they could travel through planes as well.
But they would have to know it was there.
It could prove a challenge, but they've overcome many similar challenges in the past, have they not? If what you said is true, they've located the throne, and they nearly had the crown, and are likely on their way to the scepter already.
We heard they were combing the desert for the scepter, as I recall. But I didn't know how close they were to actually finding it.
We haven't heard anything new since your last report, but I fear it is only a matter of time.
That's quite concerning.
As to destroying the crown or weakening its power, I am loath to do so. It belongs on the head of the rightful ruler, the Empire, should one ever return. And even if not, its historical significance but then again, the power that one could wield for an unjust cause.
Taif, two things. One, what's your charisma score? Two, how many followers do you have? Could you gather? Because here's the thing. We have been thinking that you or one of the other high members of the Sapphire Sabres could be a good temporary wearer of the crown, until we can put it on display or give it to some king and they rule, right? Just to end the cult. What if we take the crown somewhere safe for a certain amount of time, let's say 2 months? In that time, do you think you could rally this group of adventurers, and do you think that they would pledge fealty to you? Right? Isn't that what we garnered from the crown? Like, they have to pledge fealty?
They have to pledge fealty.
So listen, there's Waspole.
I pledge fealty to the king, and as members of this guild, all members pledge their fealty to the king.
So are you saying that we'd have to have the king of Ormog wear the crown in order to get all the bonuses that the crown offers? The benefits, I should say. Sorry, I'm thinking in game terms, I'm thinking of bonuses, but to him I should be saying, like, should we have him lead the charge? Do you think that you, through your conversations with him, could convince him that the cult needs to be put down?
Maybe not the king of Ormog, but what about a king? There are a lot of kings.
Well, here's something that I don't quite understand. Yes, he remains neutral in stuff. The cult isn't a neighboring nation. Like, they're not... It's not like he's going to war with another kingdom. This is him putting down infidels.
But it's still war. It's still a militaristic action. And he remains neutral when it comes to military matters.
But what happens when the kingdom is in a war situation? Because we are in one. I think that's all that one of us needs to...
The issue arises when he has to send his military power through the borders of other nations in order to attack the cult.
Right, it's one thing to defend your own borders.
But the cult's here.
The cult is everywhere. The cult is all across Ilthrod.
I don't think there's anything unreasonable with asking the king to mobilize his military within his own borders and eradicate the cult influence in his own kingdom. We could share with him about the red thread. Like, we could help him understand what's really happening. And then it's possible he could eradicate the cult, at least in this nation.
The kingdom of Ormog is relatively small when it comes to the overall size of Ilthrod. I don't doubt he has a massive army just sitting around waiting to not attack people, right? He probably has a healthy garrison for his castle and maybe some scouting parties that travel around, but other than that, it's going to be like a fjord, right? Like he gets his dukes or his barons or whatever to pull together all their farmers.
His bannermen.
With his bannermen with their pitchforks and sickles and raise a levy to defend the kingdom, right? I don't think he's got just a bunch of standing men-at-arms in armor with castle-forged steel or anything.
Let's ask the DM. DM, is that true?
That's about right, yeah. It's a relatively small standing army, just enough to defend its own borders and deal with various incursions by tribal monsters, orcs, goblins, things like that.
I mean, Azlo, I remember you saying we want to play this close to the chest, but I mean, come on, we're talking to one of the highest members we know in the guild. Like, we need to figure this out. Like, is the guild where we could deposit the crown, or should we just play keep away? I mean, is that what our plan? Like, just play keep away? We're just giving the cult time to find the scepter.
Both, right? Taif advised us to get the crown as far away from here as possible. So let's take it with us to Marengar. And then upon our return in a few months, we'll assess the situation and see if then is the right time to bestow it upon someone else. More fitting.
Because yes, the cult may be continuing to gather power, but so too are the Sapphire Sabres. At least Taif here is trying to mobilize against the cult.
Right.
I guess the strongest thing that's in Ormog isn't the Ormogian army. It's the Sapphire Sabres.
Yeah, probably not in like sheer numbers, but in power level
prowess.
Of characters,
yeah.
Of NPCs. Yeah.
Right. They're the dream team.
Certainly in class levels.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Taif, we encourage you and entrust you with that mission. Keep doing what you were already doing, which is getting together a group of adventurers. Just know that we're with you. And, we're going to go hole out somewhere else. Keep the crown safe.
We're going to go on vacation for a couple months, a working vacation, we'll call it. And we'll see when we get back.
We'll come back with the crown safe. But you stay safe yourself in that time. And hopefully root out the cult within the guild while we're gone. That would be great. If you could just do that.
Yeah.
I will do all within my power to do so. I bid you good fortune, and pray that the cult does not find you wherever you may be going. May Neros watch over us all.
Agreed. Thank you for your time today. We have very much appreciated you taking the time to sit down with us and chat about this. We're glad to have someone who is so dedicated within the guild to helping us with this problem. Now, if you are worried about the bill, don't at all. My boss here is going to cover the entire cost of today's meal. So,
do you know how, Shabba? Do you have any idea how much fish Tritons can eat?
Oh yes, I watched him eat most of it. Actually, he has quite the appetite, as a good warrior should.
When Shabba points over his shoulder toward me, I hold up Stripey in between us so that he's pointing at Stripey instead.
My boss here.
Yep.
My criminal mastermind here.
There's just like a sea of plates behind Taif.
Yeah. He's had a 6-course meal. You know what I just realized? I am technically indebted to the Church of Embastille for the price of 1 D-were-ratting. D-lycanthropy. So we'd better get out of Dodge before they call me up into service, and we're not in Marengar.
Would I know if the Church of Embastille has a presence in Marengar?
Yeah, all the major religions would have presence there.
They do, okay.
Yeah. One of my primary goals in ulterior motives for going to Marengar is to set up a Church of Kavaki there. To missionize and spread the good news. Which is that Kavaki is awesome. Yeah! Yeah, Kavaki! Every time you throw up the devil horns and speak Kavaki's name, some goats on electric guitars rip a searing solo.
Before we conclude this meeting, I have one more order of business that I would like to discuss with you.
Oh,
absolutely.
Very well.
This is not quite in line with our typical policy, but some of the other orichalcums and adamantites and I have been discussing, and we have decided, if you should like it, that we would bestow upon you the rank of steel for your services rendered to the guild.
What? That came out of left field, I have to say, Taif.
Wow.
I was not expecting that.
How does that, but don't we have to like get approval and do a trial and get applied, and what happened there?
Yeah, we've got to have sponsors.
I have already discussed it with those who would be qualified to put forth the trial, and you have their approval already.
Wow.
What happens if we're steals? I mean, yes, I accept.
Yes. Yes, first of all, we accept. Second of all, what are the terms?
Yeah, and third of all, I look at my watch and figure out when the wedding is supposed to be from now.
So the last information you had is that the wedding would be towards the end of spring or sometime in late spring, and it's now mid to late winter.
Okay. Well, we're available. Let's just put it that way. We have some calendar availability.
The difference is, from iron and steel, you do have to pay a little bit more in your dues, but you get cheaper healing potions and more of them every month. You get better discounts and free basic ammunition and rations. You have legal authority equivalent to a captain of the guard.
Holy schmazzoli.
Wow.
And you have access to purchase your own guild housing if you want like an actual house.
Wow.
Within the guild's compound.
We'll finally be able to speak with Captain Parthen Stoutheart as though we are peers.
Yeah.
He'd still be above us, right? Or no?
No, he's the captain of the guard.
We'd also be captain level.
Captain of the guard.
Yeah. Dude, we can just walk around the streets accusing people of stuff. This is awesome.
We can walk around the streets ordering the guards to do push-ups.
Of course, part of this also comes with the understanding that you cannot abuse your authority, otherwise you will quickly lose it.
Of course.
Right, of course.
Oh, yeah,
of course.
yeah. Totally.
Push-ups are far from abusive. Push-ups are a form of physical exercise. They're good for your cardiovascular system. They build muscle. Giving the guards extra training is no abuse of any kind, as far as I'm concerned.
Guys, let's go find some people to accuse of stuff. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait.
We can vigilante the heck out of this city. We're straight up Batman now.
We could use our captain's status to root out cult members.
That's right.
Or accuse people of stuff.
Well, no, we could literally perform a search.
Yeah.
We could. Taif, with all due respect, thank you for the offer, but I think we would definitely abuse this power. I don't think we're ready for this.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't become
On
steel.
second thought, can you demote us instead? Yeah, we're not ready for this kind of responsibility.
Yeah. Just the thoughts that are already flying through my head have made this just a non-starter for me.
You'd have to walk us and feed us. And
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about becoming a steel member. I don't know about you guys.
yeah, this is awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, we're totally in.
Yeah, we're totally in.
Okay, it sounded like you were seriously saying no for a second.
No, they're just making jokes. They're just cracking jokes. Don't listen to them.
Taif, many thanks. We accept.
Yeah, just tell us where the killing needs to happen, and we're all about it.
Yeah.
Well, you have your mission, and that is to keep the crown safe.
Oh, that's literally like our to become steels, is to just not mess up having the crown?
Or like we're being given the steel, skipping the trial altogether.
Yes, you're being given the steel membership right now.
What?
Wow.
Wow.
But he is expecting you to keep the crown safe and away from here as your duty now.
Man.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
As Taif is saying this, there's a slight breeze in the room and a Shabba-shaped hole in the door. And I'm back talking to Ribbon End. Here's my old badge. Where's the steel one?
I pause for a second, I think, and I pull the two of you aside and I say, guys, do you think it's possible that he finds us obnoxious and he's just trying to get us to leave the country because he doesn't like us?
Yeah, he's buttering us up with this promotion.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, you get to be steels. Why don't you go over to this other country to keep the crown safe?
Yeah, we can't use all of our new perks if we're away from the guild house.
Exactly.
If he found us irritating like most other people do, then he would just send us away without the promotion. The promotion is the sign that he actually finds that what we have to offer is of value.
Or is the promotion a way of getting us to leave?
No, like I said, I
think it's a trust thing.
Yeah, he made a case for just having us leave without the steel membership.
Yeah.
We did also, fight a flesh golem inside the guild house. I mean, we've demonstrated steel-level strength, I guess.
I mean, members of the cult don't battle and kill other members of the cult, right? That makes us more trustworthy than 90% of the guild.
Yes, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for us to, do it front and center. It's almost like some sort of universe designed that encounter to get us to this point, becoming steels.
Well, I think that's an offshoot. I think that's a result.
You don't believe that Kavaki works that way, Shabba?
I believe
Kavaki
that
works in mysterious
Kavaki
ways.
works in very mysterious ways. I will always believe that. But, I mean, for whatever reason, we're now, we've been validated. Our contribution to the guild has been affirmed.
Yeah, so we accept. Thank you, Taif. And yeah, we'll handle the bill. Yeah, it's nice hanging out with you.
We shake his hand.
He shakes yours as well.
We shake his fin.
I look forward to seeing you again once things have calmed down a bit.
As do we. Stay strong, don't fall prey to the cult, and keep doing the good work.
And you as well. Once again, all is guided by Neros, and we pray it is in our favor as well.
And may Kavaki guide Neros so that Neros may guide you.
Do you even remember who Neros is?
No.
Not entirely.
Isn't Neros the god of chance? No, Neros is...
Yeah,
yes.
Fate and luck.
Right. Yeah, that's Neros.
Neros.
In this case, he's invoking both of them, hoping that fortune is with you, but also that fate indicates that your mission will succeed. Because ultimately, it's whatever your fate is.
Right.
May Neros be near to your fate.
Yes.
May Neros be near us.
And may Kavaki Kavak us as well.
May Kavaki Kavak on.
May Kavaki Kavaki.
All of that good stuff.
All right, so yeah, let's go get some health potions and skedaddle.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I pick Ribbon End up by the collar and say, I love you, man. Today's a great day. Do you want me to buy you a drink? You really look like you could use one. It's been a long day at the front desk
Shabba,
here.
he's working right now. He can't drink.
Oh, sorry, Ribbon End. I put him down. What I meant to say was, give me my new badge. Sucker!
Yes, I've just received word, and I have your new badges prepared here.
Yes.
He pulls out the brand new shiny steel badges.
Ooh, these are badges that no one's worn before? Or are they refurbished like our current badges?
No. He's cleaned the blood off from the previous owners.
Right, exactly.
When we upgrade, I think I never thought about this. Do we turn in our previous badges?
Yeah, we
to get
did.
the
When
new
we-
ones?
Yep. Mm-hmm. When we went from bronze to
So
iron.
these probably have been used by somebody else who's an ex-steel.
Yeah, we had actually had that discussion. It was just callback humor from 100 episodes ago or whatever it was.
Yeah, I know. When was the last time we upgraded? We never level up, and we never rank up in the guild.
Probably about 50 episodes at this point.
Yeah, it's been a while. But my point was that we get badges that are from other people, most likely.
Actually, the steel badges look brand new. You can see they've got your names engraved.
Ooh.
Ah, the fancies.
Wow.
So maybe
Nice.
fewer people become steels, so they actually use guild funds to make new steels.
Right.
But they don't bother with the lower ranks, because it's whatever.
Well, yeah, as we know, the bronzies wash out or get killed, and the irons usually just meet their end.
Yeah, Ironites die, every day.
Right.
But Bronzies don't even make it to the battle. So they just...
Yeah, remember we said that bronze quests are the quests that Mithril members do on the way to other quests.
Take this package to the little old lady at the end cottage
Right.
on the next town over.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a bronze quest.
Yep.
Rescue the cat out of the tree.
Rescue the boy from the goblins.
Ooh, wait, speaking of quests, could we check the board?
I don't know that we really want to, because we'll be tantalized and tempted by all these quests.
Oh, yeah, we're leaving. No, we need to leave.
I'll ask Ribbonend. The Sapphire Sabre doesn't perchance have any offices in Marengar, does it? I didn't think there was much chance of that, but figured I'd ask.
No. We don't have any satellite offices that far out.
Okay. Well, we'll set one up for you when we're over there. No sweat. I'm going to have one of those buildings where it's two stores connected. In one of the towns near us, we have there's a Mexican restaurant that's attached to an AT&T cell phone store. So we're going to have that. It's going to be a temple of Kavaki attached to a Sapphire Sabre guild hall.
Attached to a Mexican restaurant.
Ooh, wait, guys. I had an idea.
Exactly.
Just stop in, grab some food, worship Kabaki, get a cell phone, head home. Wait, what was that? I forget the other. Oh, yeah, Sapphire Sabre.
Join the guild, get a burrito, renew your cell phone plan, and head home. Oh, man.
It's a one-stop shop. What were you saying, Tokas?
Sorry, you had an idea,
So-
Tokas?
Two things. One, I think we already know what we're going to do is maybe buy some health potions under the new discount.
Yep.
That's the first thing.
Step one.
Second thing, this is maybe something for Thane to chew on. Now that we know what the fairy dust actually does, I would love to, right before we leave, hit up the Alchemist Guild and, I have lots of money, we have some time, and I have more skill now, see if I could learn about some sort of a recipe that, has a duration. I mean, it'd be so cool to, learn something like that, or purchase something like that. I mean, surely... how do they stay afloat? Surely they sell potions, right?
Well, they stay afloat through their dues. That's how guilds work, is primarily the dues of the membership pay for the overhead of the organization. That being said, though, do you know... I guess your Alchemist Guild is just in Nenept, right? There's no satellite offices for that either.
Correct.
Yeah. So maybe I hit them up and see if there's something they could cook up for me to experiment with the fairy dust. What do you guys say? Is that worth a trip?
I mean, you have access to do research there, so if you wanted to spend time researching your own potions. However, alchemists tend to be very secretive and protective of the things that they've learned, so being a member of the guild gives you access to research it, but they're not likely to tell you how to make things on your own.
I know there's one alchemist at that place that doesn't hate my guts. I could go when Ezric's there.
Yeah, just make sure that whatever gold you spend, you leave enough left over for the teleportation costs.
Guys, I'm going to blow all my gold on a super awesome potion.
Nice.
And then I'll go to Marengar naked through the teleporter. I'll be able to afford that.
That is a good plan.
We'll at least be able to call up your weapons that your weapon bonded to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys interrupted me. I was trying to commune with the new Warhammer and bond myself to it.
It's true.
Yep.
So I need to do that too, so I don't have to pay for my weapons. The thing that's going to put me under is my plate mail.
Yeah.
60 pounds. Granted, because I'm small, but...
Well, guys, can't we just put all our gear in the satchel for the trip over?
Yeah, I thought that was the plan, wasn't it? We were going to put most of our stuff in the interdimensional space?
Yep.
Yeah, that works, right?
How much does it hold?
Can't remember.
It has a limit on size and weight, right?
It's like cubic feet, and then weight is like 500 pounds or something.
Well, we just put our heaviest stuff in it. Like, definitely my plate mail.
125 cubic feet or 500 pounds.
I mean, I think between the three of us, we have more than 500 pounds worth of stuff?
No, I'm carrying less than 100 pounds, 96.5 pounds worth of gear.
Okay.
But I myself weigh over 300 pounds, so it's all muscle.
All right, so we'll put Shabba in the satchel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have to pay for our own body weight, don't we? Or is it extra gear that we pay for?
No, the fee is for creatures, it's a set fee, and then weight beyond whatever the creature is.
Oh, right, we need to pay for our mounts. No matter how we skin a cat, we got to pay for our mounts if we want them over there.
Right.
Or is it cheaper to just buy new mounts?
Yeah.
Just don't tell him I said that.
Right.
Ralph would be so indignant.
Yeah, it would.
We could leave our mounts here at the Sapphire Sabre.
I mean, that's where they've been this whole time.
It might make sense to purchase new mounts, because, like, how expensive would it be to transport our current mounts that we didn't spend that much on in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It would be more expensive than buying new ones.
Yeah, okay. We'll just find a stables once we get over there.
Maybe we can just rent some. Just borrow some from a farmer.
Rent a horse.
We have to pay for Stripey. He just said pets, like creatures, have to be paid for.
Yeah, that's fine. I can afford it.
Well, Stripey's expensive. He's big now. Oh, that's what I should research. A potion of shrink weight. And I should just shrink Stripey down temporarily.
During a recent session, didn't we determine how much Stripey actually weighs?
Probably. I have 52 written down.
52 pounds.
But again, he's a creature, so you'd pay on the creature scale.
Right.
Yeah.
So to go to Reistargan, which is the one teleportation circle in Marengar that they have that's anywhere near where you want to go, will cost 114 gold and 4 silver per person. And then every 20 pounds or fraction thereof of additional gear is 22 gold, 8 silver, 8 copper.
But if we're hoping to put most of all our stuff in the interdimensional space, plus or minus Tokas' weapons, plus or minus Stripey, it should be pretty cheap for all of us. Like, we just have to... Maybe we'll help split the cost and offset paying for Stripey, because Stripey should... I mean, if we strip down to our clothes, aren't we not really paying much of anything?
Right.
I mean, we have to pay for the crown because you don't want to take it off, right? Or has it been a week? It hasn't been a week.
It's been 2 days.
Yeah, so, like, we should calculate that we're paying for the crown and Stripey.
Just for your basic clothes and whatever, just get that 20 pounds of first cost in there. So 22.88, and then if you have anything heavy that you want to bring.
Okay, so what we'd be wearing on our persons, yeah, that would be covered under that 20 pounds, so that we could put everything else into the satchel.
Minus the crown and Stripey.
Sure, of course. And then what would the cost be for Stripey?
Same as for you.
114.
Dang.
Oh, really? It's not just that he's like extra gear. I thought
Yikes.
The way that you were charging for mounts was by weight. I didn't realize you were charging for like another creature.
Yeah.
So, like, we're gonna need to pool our money together to be able to afford to also teleport Stripey.
To get Stripey.
Or Shabba, you can summon your creature. How does your summon creature thing work?
I think it's only if he dies, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only if he does.
Yeah, so we kill Stripey.
So we murder Stripey and then resummon him over there.
And then we resummon him.
And then on the way back, we murder him again, and then I resummon him when we get back here. Yes, good plan. I like it.
To save 100 and...
Perfect.
I mean, so if we weren't a podcast drama that's being shared with the world... You realize that we would totally metagame that and kill Stripey. Like, everything I just said, we would totally do.
Yes.
We would absolutely do that.
But because this is a family-friendly medium, maybe we do the right thing and just find a way to pay for Stripey.
And pay 200 plus gold to transport him.
Or if you don't want to summon him, like, so Thane said we can't transport living things into the extra-dimensional space. We could transport a dead Stripey into the interdimensional space.
So, okay, the total cost for all 4 of you plus 20 pounds of gear is 480 gold, 0.48.
One way.
One way, yes.
Maybe we should take a boat.
Yeah, how much cheaper is the boat, or what's the cost of taking a ship?
So we're going to have no money once we get there.
Taking a ship depends on where you plan to arrive, and you could spend a few days looking around to get the best deal, so it's somewhat randomized. Going to Taif, which is the country where Azlo is most wanted. That's where you were in prison before. But it's also the closest place. That would be between like 70 and 90 gold per person, and take about 3 weeks to get there.
But at least we're not being charged for our extra stuff. It's significantly cheaper.
Yeah. Going to Porin takes about 100 to 140, something like that, and it would be about a month. And Porin is next to Taif. It's one of the 3 countries that you heard that Felmandar has been performing in. Porin, Taif, and Ransdell.
100 to 140 meaning for all of us?
That's for each.
Oh, so that's like the same price.
Well, the 70 to 90 is pretty good, but I guess if the teleportation circle is going to get us a lot closer to our destination, maybe we should just bite the bullet.
Well, you want to look at the map?
You guys already looking at it?
Yeah, I just pulled it up.
It's basically straight west from where you are when you start off. You'll see Taif and Porin, and then Ransdell's just north of that. And a little bit farther north, there's a little star in Therad, which is where you would teleport to.
Okay. And where is it that we most recently heard that Felmandar was performing?
He's been traveling through those 3 countries, Ransdell, Tyr, and Porin.
Okay.
So you'd have to get over there, figure out which country he's in at the moment, and then find his caravan.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a pretty long space. So if you teleport in there, that could be as far as like 600 or 700 miles that you'd walk or ride, depending on exactly where he is.
And you said it's currently mid to late winter?
Yes.
Okay. So the good news is we still have roughly 3 months until the wedding, because he said late spring. We obviously don't want to cut it too close because we don't know when exactly, but
Yeah,
I feel like we could do either one. We could teleport over there, track him down, and then take a boat back when we have a little more time to work with. I think that might be our best bet.
Yeah, I think either way we teleport over there. I mean, I have enough gold just by myself to teleport all of us over there one way. So it's not going to be a problem to teleport Stripey, it's just awkwardly expensive.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine on costs as well.
So why don't we stock up on some healing potions at the guild? How much do they cost now for steel members?
You can get 2 of them for 20 each.
All right.
Wow.
I
That's
will
a good deal.
do that.
Yeah, I'll do the same. That's a lot cheaper.
Likewise.
So do we want to spend the last 5 days until the crown conveys its charisma bonus to Azlo resting at the guild? Or do we just want to go to Marengar and spend those 5? Because, like, if we get locked up in Marengar or something, then they'll probably confiscate the crown. So I think it's probably safer to stay at the guild and just let it happen, right? Just get that charisma bonus done.
I mean, I feel like we're going against what Taif just asked us to do, though.
Not by staying an extra 5. I mean, it's going to take you a couple of days to do your research on the potion anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I want a sweet potion to use the fairy dust on. You're not wrong.
Yeah, and the guild remains the safest place for us, especially when it comes to keeping an item on you at all times. So why don't we do that? We'll rest here for 5 days. We'll get the crown to convey its charisma bonus, and then we will teleport to Marengar. Does that sound good to everybody?
I think so, yeah.
And Tokas will research a potion with Ezric at the Alchemist Guild.
Yep. Sounds like a plan.
All right. That's the plan, then.
I'll just research the fairy dust and learn a way to, like, produce more and more fairy dust. That's the real answer.
To manufacture fairy dust, right?
Yeah, and then we stop being adventurers and we just sell fairy dust.
Perfect.
So plan now decided, you settle down in your rooms. I guess, Azlo, you're probably not going to spend much time outside of your room if you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be as holed up as possible.
You're just meditating on the crown.
Yeah.
In the crown, with the crown. Getting in touch with your inner Kavaki.
Something like that.
Yeah.